Holding on Brachos Daf Gimel and Aleph. This is the first quarter of Daf Gimel. So the Gemara says, when the Mishnah Rebbe says Ad Seif Ashmur, that the end of according to the Lezer, the first opinion in Mishnah, the Sof Zman Kriya Shema Arvis is going to be ready at what's called the end of the first watch. And the Gemara is going to explain, as an introduction here, first of all, that there are machlekes, which we'll learn more on Beis, about that there's two possible ways of dividing up the night. Dividing up the night into 3 mishmaros, or do we divide the night into 4 mishmaros? The Mishnah says it's the end of the first watch. The Gemara says, "My kasaver, that we divide the night up to 3, so that each part of the night is 4 hours. So lema, you have up to 4 hours. The Gemara uses similar terminology when it talks about Kriya Shematas. Talk about Shlit. So say over here also Arab Shayis. The night is divided up into 4. So then each mishmar would be 3 hours. Say up to 3 hours. So the olam, we do in fact hold kasava shalosh mishmaris. We'll see why we hold that way. That's what we assume is the correct halacha, and therefore it would be after 4 hours kriyishma. But why do we choose? This is a similar discussion we had previously by Truma. As they want to teach us something else over here. The Tana wants to teach us that Kamash Malan the ikim mishmaris b'kiyah. The ikim mishmaris ba'ara. We want to teach you that the mishmaris, not only do we learn from the Torah they exist in the Shamayim, but we also know that they exist they exist ba'ara. They also exist here, and we can recognize these mishmaros. So that's why the Tana uses the mishmaros as a marker. Mishman Kriyashma. The Tanya of Elezer Oimer Shleish Mishmaros Amilayla. There are 3 parts of the night, 3 mishmaros. Vakol mishmar on each mishmar, on each watch. Yoishiv HaKadosh Baruch B'shoy Ka'ari. And apparently he repeats this in each watch. He cries out like a lion. Shenema Hashem Yimoyim Yishuv Yimoyim Kodsho Yiten Koilo Shoya Gishag Al Neveyu. He's screaming out on the Beis Hamikdash and Ma'oin Kodsho. And now the Gemara is going to explain, so how do we recognize the mishmaros? How are we supposed to know? I tell you, the Mishnah says, your Kriyashma ends at the end of the first mishmar, 4 hours. When is that? Now remember, people didn't have watches, they didn't know what we used to tell. So there's simanim. There's indications in the natural world. The siman davar, the mishmar rishayna, at the end of the mishmar, or we'll see in a second, this is the end or the beginning. But the Mishmar Rishayna, the siman is Chamor Noyer. The donkey cries out. You hear the donkey making a noise. Shnia, the second one, Kalovim Tzoikim. The dogs bark. They cry out. They bark. Shlishis Tinuk Yanik Mishtei Imai. This is when a baby wakes up in the night. The nurse. This is the 3rd mishmar. The Ishim Sapes Bala, and as part of that, the woman speaks to her husband in the morning. So the Gemara explains. Now, Micah Choshev Ablezer. When we gave these indications of the simanim, is that Tchilas Mishmaros? The simanim of the Mishmaros is that it marks the beginning of the Mishmar. The Choshev. So rather, this beginning, if it's indicating the beginning of the Mishmar is Simana Lamali. So for the first Mishmar, why would it have to be a Siman? Why do you have to indicate that? Just we know that it's the night. So as soon as the night starts, as soon as you have Tzitzit B'chavim, obviously that's when it starts. We know the beginning is Kriyashma already. It's night. And if you'll say, well, maybe not, you say Mishmar Choshev, it's the end of the Mishmar. So then we have a similar question, Seif Mishmar Achroine, the last one, the Tinik Yoinek, which indicates morning. So again, you can see the first light in the morning in the sky. It's daytime. The fact that it's daytime will prove that the Mishmar is over. Ella, the answer is Choshev Soif Mishmar Rishon. And so the indications are go with logic. Obviously, when we need the marker in the beginning, at the end of the first Mishmar. So that's when the Chamor is Noyer. With Chilas Mishmar Achreina, when is the Tinik Yoinek? It's Yoinek in the beginning of that Mishmar. So that marks the that would mark that mishmar, and it's not won't be so relevant for anything. It just tell us when the mishmar is. Please mishmar achrayim. The emtsais, and the middle mishmar is the middle of the middle one. The dog's barking is the middle. This is one approach to understand the mishmar. Here we have a second approach. Another pshat is mishmar. No, logic would say we're telling you the end of the Mishmar. So that's why the first one is so important. That's why the first one is so important. It marks the end, and it marks the end of the Kriya Shema when the Chamor is Noyer. If that's the case, so then Achroina. So what do we need? Achroina. Why do you have to mark when the last Mishmar ends? When the day begins? It's obvious. Just go outside, and you'll see. There'll be a little light. There'll be a little bit of light in the sky. Will tell you that the morning is coming. So maybe you'll tell me you don't need it. Why would you need it? Laman degani b'bayis awful. Well, yeah, there's one kriya shema. There's enough gemina. You can't always check outside. If you live in a basement, you live some underground, we don't have windows, or it's very dark. It's very hard to see what's going on outside from where you are. So then you won't know when it's morning, and therefore you have another marker. You have another indication is when the baby wakes up, when the tinik is yoinik. So you know that's alois shachar. And you know that it's already the end of the day, and now it's the beginning of the Zman Kriya Shema. So when you came with the Isham, Saperes Bible, Tina getting Imai, Likam Velikra, you should get up and say Kriya Shema. So I'll just add one more point here. So Taisus asks that don't you need Kadesh Yaakov and Tchelas Akarti? We'll see later on in the Mishnah that the Zman is apparently later than the beginning of the day. So Taisus answers, yeah, but once you know it's Alois HaShachar, it's already the beginning of the day, so it's time to get up. And by the time you get ready, there's not so much time between that and what's Kadesh Yaakov, and it'll be ready. You'll fulfill Kriya Shema L'Chatchila. That's what Taisus explains. Now, but the Magen Avram points out that again, this is the proof for the Shita of the Magen Avram that says that the Zman Kriya Shema, the clock starts ticking the Zman Kriya Shema from Alois HaShachar. That's what Taisus seems to define in the Gemara, that the Mishmaros indicate the end of the night, which is already means the day has begun, which means it's Alois HaShachar. Whereas maybe according to the Ra, or the Luvush, and those that disagree with the Magen Avram, with the Zman Kriya Shema is later, so then the day would begin from Netzachama, not Alois HaShachar. Maybe Mishmaros would also end at Netzachama. Taisus clearly assumes over here in Taisus Tiramaskal Man Devani Baisafal, he says, yeah, once you know when Alois HaShachar is, it's time to get up and start to get ready. But he's assuming that the Mishmaros ended Alois HaShachar. That means the day begins on Alois HaShachar. That means it's on Kriya Shema that ends after 3 hours, which we'll see later on Daf Tes, is going to be will end 3 hours from Alois HaShachar, which is an earlier Zman Kriya Shema.